Welcome back to the Wrestling Aroundup with, frankly, just the heart and soul at this point of the Wrestling Around podcast. The only two who show up week in, week out. I am joined, of course, by world-renowned wrestling journalist and Corbett driving. I've said that wrong. Aaron Franklin. Aaron, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. How are you, Lew?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thanks. I've got an avian related story, but I'll save it for the main show. I think.
I can't wait for
that. You know, you thought the pigeons were back. Just wait till the fucking sequel. That's all I'm saying. Pigeons were a drop in the ocean. That's what I'll be fucking dealing with this week. But we'll get on to that. Anyway, so that's a little hook for Wednesday's show for Spring Stampede in the middle of summer. So we'll look at the weeks of wrestling news. We missed a week last week. I can't remember why. I think Terry was doing his famous bits. Ross has got no internet. I think that's where we're going. I think. So we'll start with the news then. So AEW Collision started since we were last around. CM Punk is back. Have you seen any of AEW Collision?
I've always seen like little clips because I just don't have time to keep up with, especially in the summer. I can't wait for autumn, winter to come back around. So I've got all this time where it's early nights and cold weather, and I just stay in and just sit and watch wrestling.
It's dark at 4 o'clock. You don't feel bad about watching wrestling.
100%. Like
all evening.
I can't do it in the summer.
Yeah, I know. Especially today, we're recording on the longest day of the year. It's going to be bright sunshine until about 9:45, isn't it? It's,
So yeah, I've seen a couple of clips.
Have you seen CM Punk's promo? That's the only part I've seen. Is the opening promo?
Only a little bit of it, where he's saying, where he basically just said "screw you" to the Bucks, didn't he? He said, "I'm the only one worth watching." Kind of
worth the money. Yeah, it was.
Worth the money.
It was very CM Punkish, wasn't it? Really, he got a big reaction, but then you would expect that because they're in Chicago. They live over there. I think at this point, CM Punk could go out, shit in the ring, leave again, and everyone would cheer if it was in Chicago. In fact, they'll probably do that anyway, actually, because it would be different, and completely new to what we're used to.
It wasn't a sellout, was it?
No, it was. I think it was about 8,000 or 9,000 people there. He started selling well towards the end.
After they announced CM Punk.
After they announced CM Punk, and just right up to the last couple of days, I think it was a big, strong walk up. I think they would say, because AEW Collision ticket sales on the whole haven't been great. They are picking up. The Toronto show is the next one, right after Forbidden Door, or before Forbidden Door. I can't when they're recording it. That's started to pick up a lot, which obviously CM Punk is now getting the credit for since he's there. But there's a show in Cardiff. I think it's in Hamilton the week after. There's only like 900 tickets being sold so far.
Ooh,
so
that's not good, is it?
That's the level you can't even make it look good on TV. So they're going to have to do something about that. But obviously that's the first one that's not live. The first two on Saturdays, and it's going to be taped on a Thursday. Going forwards, they have sold, that's Rampage tonight, they've sold 6,000. Forbidden Door, that's doing very well, 13,000, nearly a sellout. That's Chicago again. AEW Collision have now sold 4,000 tickets in Toronto, but they've only set the arena up for 5,000, and that's Scotiabank Arena, which holds about 20,000 normally. But I still think about 10,000 is good for a wrestling show these days, I would say, in a stadium that big.
Yeah, they're literally just going to have all the fans on the hard cam.
Yeah, that's what we do, and it's really weird. Me and Ross went to WrestleMania the second time, and it included SmackDown for the first time. A lot of people had already flown out, and so SmackDown was a lot emptier than Raw, and it's such a bizarre experience. It looks rammed on TV, and obviously they sit you with everyone, but you're sat facing nobody. Basically, it's just like being in the theater. I assume it'd feel like the house show we went to in Leeds, where there was only one side of the arena.
Yes,
it would feel like that constantly. But yeah, it's a really odd. I guess it's like when you go to a football stadium and it's a big stadium, but there's no one in there. It's just a really weird atmosphere. It doesn't feel quite as right. But
there's a few returning stars on Collision, weren't they? Miro came back.
There was.
Andrade came back and had a good match.
Yeah, Andrade came back. And for one night only, but I do think it was a mistake by the announcer. WWE's Buddy Murphy was there, not Buddy Matthews. He got announced incorrectly on the way in. But he's pulled him away from tweeting about Rhea Ripley. So it's all good news for that. But yeah, no, I've heard
Yeah.
it was a really good show. I've heard it was completely different to Dynamite. It had a very more classic wrestling style. I will
Well,
say
that's
it
a,
looked good on TV as well. I thought the presentation of it was really good.
yeah. I think that's what they need to do. They need to keep them looking and feeling different
Yeah,
because that's how
yeah,
you're going to get more fans in because everyone knows the Dynamite setup and you either love it or you hate it.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
hardcore
They've made
wrestling
it very
fans,
polarized, haven't they? I think
yeah.
the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, especially, they were very polarizing characters anyway, even before the
Hmm.
AEW formed, like when they were in Japan. So there is that section of the audience who kind of probably don't want to watch WWE as much, or oh, I don't know if there is now actually, because SmackDown is doing monster ends, the ones we'll get onto later. But there's probably people out there looking for an alternative, but then they get to what AEW Dynamite's producing, and like this is it for me.
Yeah.
So if Rampage can cater to that, I think if I was them, I would do like a full brand split. I would just call it down the middle.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see. I think
100%.
it makes it easier. But CM Punk's going to be at Dynamite tonight, which means the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are not. They're going to be doing pre-taped promos for Forbidden Door on
Right.
Saturday, so they're not allowed in this. Or Sunday night, sorry. So they're not allowed in the same building at the moment.
That's
Which, according to your rival, I guess, Dave Meltzer, is because of Tony Khan's call. Nothing to do with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. They're
I
fine with it.
suppose maybe he's over managing the situation. I think if you put more in a room, I don't think anything would kick off again.
Yeah, I
And
don't
when
think it
this
would, and I think they need to. There's money to be made having that match now, right? That's the match that everyone wants to
100%.
see.
Oh yeah.
Would you do a singles match with Kenny Omega and CM Punk, or would you do CMFTR, as I believe they're called now, versus the Full Elite?
No, because no one wants to see It's got nothing to do with FTR.
No, they were there on Saturday. I think Hangman Page as well is the big one, actually. That I don't know if they're intentionally building to it, but CM Punk had a lot to say in the ESPN interview about Hangman Page
Hmm.
in particular. I've read one rumor that's because legally he's not allowed to talk about the rest of the elite, so he just
Right.
saved all his vitriol for Hangman Page.
Could we not just do like a 6-man tag of have the Elite versus CM Punk, Ace Steel, and Ace Steel's dog?
Yes, that I think that would be good actually.
That'd make sense.
Yeah, I just
No,
maybe they could bring back the Kennel from Hell match,
maybe they
but
could.
instead of the pit bulls, it's just Ace Steel running around. Just like as soon as someone goes out, he bites at their ankles, and there's just the odd chairs just flying across every now and
Yeah.
again. I thought people would pay money to see that.
But in all seriousness, just a singles match for a title? Are they going to have two titles for two different shows?
Well, this is the other thing because he's brought back. It's in a bag, isn't it? But he's
Yeah,
brought his own AEW World Championship back with him.
yeah. Saying that he hasn't lost it.
Hasn't lost it, so that would also seem like a match that you could rush to. I don't think there's any actual animosity between MJF and CM Punk,
No, don't think so.
but I think you would need to put the belt on. If you're going to unify him, you have to unify him on CM Punk now, wouldn't you? I don't think MJF's reigns really took off, and obviously CM Punk's the hottest star. So
Yeah. Well, speaking of hot matches, although Chris Jericho shot it down, saying that he'd never work with him, looks like we're in for a Chris Jericho Sting match.
yes, yeah, I think Chris Jericho did his classic playing the internet basically, didn't he, by saying that and immediately going into the match with Sting. Is that something you want to see? Is that something you're
Yeah,
interested in? Do you want
yeah,
to see that in London?
yeah.
Is that the next big pay-per-view outside of Forbidden Door? It must be. Must be all in, right? It's the
Yeah, it's because it's August, isn't it?
big one. Of course, yeah. Bloody hell, but yeah, midsummer's night tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, so I would like to see that at London.
Yeah,
Whether we do, I don't know.
yeah,
But
I think I would as well. I think
because who else would you want to see in a match against Sting? Unless they brought in Goldberg or someone.
yeah, I said I had the idea of him having a retirement match against MJF, but I think now CM Punk's there. I think they've got to by that point get to a big CM Punk match for the title.
Yeah,
Whether
that's going
that's
to be the main event.
MJF or if it's some sort of elite based thing, that's going to be the main event, isn't it? Not I don't think Sting can retire outside of the main event. I think it needs to be, if Sting has his last match, it needs to be, the show needs to be built around it, really.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, because I think Jericho and Sting, it's a casual one. They've done really well. They've still sold like 60 odd thousand, but there's still 30,000 seats they could feasibly sell. I don't think they'll sell them all, but if you're going to do it, that's the sort of match you need to be showing, right?
100%.
Because you would think all the hardcore fans have already got their tickets now. We all bought our tickets the first week.
Yeah, so if you want to get the casual fans,
Yeah.
Sting's an household name, isn't he?
Yeah.
Get him on your billboard.
Yeah. You're now looking at the people who are just going, oh, some wrestling on at Wembley. I'll go along. It's Sting. I think you're looking at attracting those types of people now.
You are.
So, yeah, Sting and Jericho, I'm all for it. I think it'll be fun, and I think London's the place to do it because I don't think it'll be a hardcore crowd by that point. I think it'll just be people who just kind of enjoy the wrestling, and
it doesn't need to be
will take that on.
I think it'll be a good match for maybe halfway up the card, just to slow the event down.
Yeah, and the thing is now they've both got sort of entourages, so there can be a lot of interference. I'm picturing in my mind Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania 31, that type of match where there's just an absurd interference. Yeah, like you could have all the ex-WCW guys. I was going to say you could bring back Ralphus, but I believe he's dead. But
yeah, he is.
Yeah, rest in peace, Ralphus. But those types of people, like there's got to be some like random people. Like they could bring in like some tall bloke dressed as the Yeti, something like that. Maybe a bit of a love letter to WCW, and also you've got Jericho's Appreciation Society. You got Sting, Darby Allin, his guys as well. So. I think that'd be the best way to go. It's just like have a full-on sports entertainment match rather than trying to have a 5-star match. I don't want to see them two wrestle for 20 minutes, but I do want to see them have a spot fest, basically.
Yeah. I think that's all it needs to be.
Yeah. And that's probably all they can do. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but Sting is like nearly 60 now. If he's not 60 already. That's what he wants to be doing, basically. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Just back onto AEW Collision, two other notable features is there's a brand new commentary team, which I think did help and make it feel like a new show. So we've got Kevin Kelly, and who signed for the company that week, and Nigel McGuinness, obviously, who's making his first appearance and signing. What do you think of those two as a commentary team?
Don't like Kevin Kelly.
I'm not a fan. He's the hardcore's favorite. I think Ian Riccoboni from Ring of Honor was a favorite amongst the hardcore fans as well.
I'm just not a fan of him. Never have been. There's better commentators out there.
Yeah, it'd been in some ways it would have been nice to give someone new a chance. I think if there's anyone out there, I think it's good that it's not Excalibur. I think we needed to move away from. You needed to see him different to the rest of Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good call. JR he's taken a leave of absence, so he had one.
Yes. He's
fallen over a lot now. I hope someone's looking after JR. But yeah, he had a fall the morning of the show, I think, or the day before. He turned up. I don't know how he sounded, but apparently he didn't sound great, and obviously he realised that. So we wish JR all the best. But I don't think he'll be on there for the foreseeable future. And maybe it is time for JR to just kind of have more of a consultant role now.
I think that he's got the experience, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's gonna be greatest of all time. He's gonna go down the history because he's the greatest of all time, or one of the greatest of all time. He's got nothing else to prove. Yeah,
that's it. And I think I'd rather see him now coach the new guy. So if you did have someone new coming up, and you've got you don't have Vince, or I doubt Tony Khan shouts in people's ear pieces, but if you've got JR there going, lay out, kid, don't say anything now, let the moment breathe, or I'll say this or sell that, something like that. I think that's those instincts will still be there even if his voice isn't carrying them at the moment. So and that's what I do with that. And he does have a good an old school wrestling brain, but it sounds like the Collision is the place to be if you want old school wrestling. Your friend Elton John doing a theme tune as well, which I thought was pretty good. It's all power move from Tony Khan, I think, Lexington. Saturday night's all right for fighting, but it makes sense. It
does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. I'd never thought of it before, but I was like, "What the hell? How did WWE never had that for Saturday night's main event?" So you've got a show on a Saturday. You've got a song called "Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting."
I'd be interested to see going forward. Obviously, the initial debut of the show got 816,000 views,
Yeah.
which isn't that many. I mean, like you say, we'll get on to SmackDown's figures shortly.
Hmm.
It's minuscule, really.
Yeah.
But how is it going to affect them on pay-per-view nights? WWE.
Yes, that's it, isn't it? I don't know when we'll have the next WWE pay-per-view it's in London, isn't it? So there won't be a clash because it'll be afternoon in the
Yeah.
US. So I think the first time we'll see it will be SummerSlam, and it's looking like it's going to be a packed SummerSlam as well. So mid or no, early August, August 5th. That is. So I did see somebody say that on average, so it's obviously it's a small sample, but if you look at the drop of Dynamite between the first and the second show, and the drop between the second and third show for Rampage, because obviously
Yeah.
CM Punk debuted on the second show, which was the kind of the kickoff of it really. The audience dropped around 25% on both. So you'd be looking at 600,000, I think.
Yeah, it's not many, is it?
Forward.
But
It's not, but I don't know what it's expected on a Saturday night because they don't have many good. I know it's when Ross is here, just says Ross is one of the losers. They're all sat on a Friday and Saturday night, but there must be some casual fans who wouldn't watch. Otherwise, I don't know what the sports competition's like on a Saturday as well. That's the other thing.
yeah.
UFC do all their pay-per-views on a Saturday as well as WWE, and they don't
Mhm.
clash, obviously. Well, they'll do. They're the same company now, so between them, they could probably counter program literally half of if they do one pay-per-view a month, WWE and UFC each. That's half of the collisions have been counter programmed by
Yeah.
Endeavor. So,
But like you say, it must be enough for them to be able to get television deals.
yeah,
They've got deals out in America. They're on Fight TV for us for Collision.
yes, yeah. There is there is a new deal in the UK as well, isn't it? It's on ITV4 now,
Is
but not
it?
until Tuesday. I don't understand this, right? It's just so I'm just going to say this. If anyone from ITV is listening, they're probably not. What the hell are you showing at 2 a.m. on a Saturday morning that is more important than that's going to get more viewers, should I say, than Collision or even Dynamite on a Wednesday night? Like, surely there's nothing on at that time. Telly shopping,
Yeah.
quiz
Definitely,
call, if that's still a thing.
definitely not reruns of this morning. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, that'll be I can't. I was going to say, should we give a shout out to Gino De Campo? I don't know. I don't know if we should because he's a convicted burglar, but he caused. I don't know if you've seen the clip, but
I've heard about it, but I've
he
not seen it.
caused havoc on his. I was going to say his return, his one-off appearance. Now I should say on this morning. I think based on what he did there.
I think the show's going to
Um,
get canned.
yeah, I think it's gonna die, isn't it? It's not. It can't come back from that really. I don't know. I don't know why they're trying. But yeah. So back onto I can't remember where I was going. Oh, breaking news! CM Punk is in the building for Dynamite tonight. He is confirmed as backstage, so he is turned up. And Dave Meltzer has said, "I'm sure that Dave Meltzer is making the situation far worse. There is still high tension between the Elite and CM Punk." Going to Dave Meltzer.
I just loves it, doesn't he? It's Dave.
I think he's making it very obvious at this point that he is a friend of the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even sold at this point, really. So
Yeah.
yeah, Steve, he's lost a lot of credibility recently. I think I did get my phone out to check something, but I can't remember what it was now, so it can't be that important. But yeah, Rampage on Saturday nights. Then we should move on though to WWE.
Yeah.
The big one. Let's go. I'm sorry, I'm not going in order at all. But let's go with the big one, I guess, in WWE. Since we'd last been here, Jey Uso has turned on Roman Reigns and got a hell of a pop and a hell of a rating in the process. There were 2.7 million people watching that.
Bloody
That
hell.
segment alone, not the full show. I think the full show got 2.4 million, which is still really impressive. But
That's more than triple Collision's viewers.
yes, and I don't even know what it is on Rampage. That was what I was going to say about Collision. I hope they just don't give up on it like they did Rampage. I feel like Rampage's ratings dropped even further when they just decided to kind of headline every show with like Daniel Garcia or someone random. No, no shade to Daniel Garcia there, but yeah. So Jey Uso's 10. I don't want to say I didn't see it coming because I've been a strong advocate of Jey Uso being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns, but I feel like because of the turn and when it's happened, I don't think he will. But what are your thoughts on it?
I still don't think Jay's going to be the one to do it.
No, I don't know. I think they might get a big win in London. So obviously they've announced that they've not announced it's the main event, but I'm 99% sure it's going to be the main event of Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it's going to be
It's the Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. I think Jay might be the first person to pin Roman Reigns, but he doesn't win the title. I mean, that's my prediction now.
Yeah, well, the title ain't on the line for the tag match.
No, is it? Oh, of course they're not tag team champions, are they? And obviously the Universal Championship hasn't been. Oh, he got defended in the house show last week, so he has defended it since WrestleMania.
Okay, well, yeah, I still think Cody's potentially the one to do it.
Yeah, it's all very interesting now. There was a report this morning from Fightful that any pay-per-view they book now has a specific storyline or a specific location in mind. And they've just announced Payback in Pittsburgh. And obviously Payback is where Roman Reigns won it in 2020.
Right.
It's the first time. Could that be where it ends? At Payback?
Literally come full circle.
Literally come 3 years almost to the day. I don't think it'll be exactly, will it? But
yeah. It could be.
But then does Payback feel big enough now? It feels like it needs to end at WrestleMania or SummerSlam push.
Yeah.
SummerSlam in Detroit. But I'm 99% sure we're going to get Roman Reigns versus one of the Usos as the main event of SummerSlam. I'm assuming Jey Uso. I don't know. I don't know.
Could be Jimmy. Jay's already done that, hasn't he?
Yeah. But only because I thought he was going to finish the story. The other thing they could do, if they really wanted to, I mean, they're getting some monster reigns already, but if they put one of their matches, one of the Usos matches against Roman Reigns on SmackDown, I think they could break that 3 million barrier for the first time in about 2 or 3 years. If they do it on a night where there's no competition, there's nothing else on, they build it up a few weeks in advance. I think that could be a huge rating as well for.
I mean, I'm just thinking now, like of other contenders that you realistically could dethrone Roman with. I think the only other one that'd spring to mind for me would be Orton.
Yeah, Randy Orton, and that's in our news as well that he's not done yet.
Yeah, you don't want to be done. So
yes, yeah.
Apparently he's going to be back before the end of he's going to be back at some point in the summer.
Okay, so we're coming up to the summer now. We're in it, aren't we? So yeah, that could be another one. I think they might do something big. I don't think they'll do a big return at Money in the Bank because I just feel like they won't be able to get anyone in the country without making it obvious that they're getting there. Like Randy Orton's going to turn up at Heathrow, but yeah, I think SummerSlam. That was where that would be like a year to the day since Triple H took over because obviously he made the big splash last time with all the returns in the women's division.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll do something big like that, or even the night after. That would be good as well.
Yeah.
They started making these night after pay-per-views, big shows as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so is the Bloodline storyline the best story? Eric Bischoff has said it surpassed the NWO now.
I said this months ago, and I stand by it. It's the best storyline in wrestling history.
Yeah, and it's 3 years in, and I still care. I know, obviously, if Terry was here, he would be a dissenting voice now, but I'm still hooked week by week on how it's going down.
For me, could go on another 3 years, and I don't think I'd be bored if they carried on with this trajectory. Because even if Roman loses the title, you've still got storyline.
Yeah, you've still got the fallout of him losing the title, haven't you? That's
absolutely, and then he's got to build himself back up.
Yeah,
to be the tribal chief.
Yeah, because there's rumors that this is all one big face turn and it's one big evil plot by Vince McMahon, and Roman's going to turn face at the end. If he does, good. I don't care if people want to cheer him at the end of this. Good, but I've just thought out loud. Solo, could he be the one who ends the reign?
Don't think he's a big enough star.
The last remaining, but would he be afterwards? if they can build him up. Like, you know, like the whole Batista thing where he stuck by Triple H slightly too long.
Mm, yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's very Umaga-ish, and I've always said Umaga should have been world champion.
Yeah. Yeah. He does a lot of tributes to America, doesn't he? There's also the Rock match that I think I've given up on that now. I don't think the Rock would win it, but if it was going to happen, it would have happened in Hollywood, I think. But
Yeah,
it's always there. And also, there's the outside chance of, again, I don't think he would beat Roman Reigns, but Stone Cold Steve Austin's still floating around. He was
yeah.
offered a match with Reigns this year. That would be a big match wherever they want to do it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if they've announced the Royal Rumble location yet. If they did that in Texas, that would be a hell of a match. But
There's loads of dream matches you could do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's many people left on the actual main roster. Unless they really go back to the Payback main event and they do a triple threat between Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, wherever he is, and Roman Reigns, which would be. I don't think Braun Strowman or Bray Wyatt are quite at the levels of the career they were in the original match. But it would be interesting.
No.
To see
One
Braun
thing,
up there.
one thing that I did see, which I'm sure made you very happy, is that they've confirmed the lineage for the titles.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I believe they listened to our podcast and realized that they've made such a mess of it.
Yeah. So
is it that the both separate titles for now? Because they do carry all three now.
mhm.
Paul Heyman has the original two around his neck.
Yeah.
But
So
when Roman loses it, the Universal Championship is retired and the WWE
yes,
Championship carries on. Is my
yes,
understanding.
and then the heavyweight championship, which is currently with Rollins, has got the old heavyweight championship lineage.
Yeah. Oh, is that confirmed as well now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Which makes sense. It's not a new title then. It's just
Yeah, because there's been too many new titles, hasn't there? Obviously, it was the Universal one that came in 7 years ago.
yeah.
But yeah, but also we've got new women's championships as well now. Finally, unbranded women's championships. It's just thank God for that. It's a long time coming.
They're basically just copies of the men's, which I'm not against. I'm all for that.
But don't you think they both look better with a white strap?
Yeah.
I prefer both women's versions with the white strap. They just look a lot more aesthetically pleasing.
I like white straps anyway. Like the old Intercontinental Championship. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah, I was really hoping that when Cody did win it, he would have like a United States type white strap.
Never say never.
I don't think he will now, unless they do bring back the Winged Eagle.
I think he'll have a custom championship.
Yeah, they sell for a ton now, don't they? Even the ones that have you seen these? They're like the collector's edition ones where they're kind of like customized to like legends. So you get there's like a Mankind one that comes with a big sock.
Mm-hmm.
They're going for like $2 or $3 and they're not even on TV. They're just collector's items.
There's a lot of people that collect wrestling belts, don't they?
Yeah, just a hell of a lot. And some of them look pretty good, actually. The Triple H one, actually, if he used that one back in the day, it would have been amazing. But yeah, I think they're going to do that. They're going to commodify everything now they're part of this bigger company, and more power to them. Really, I think it's interesting. I think I think they've changed the design of the title that much now that it's the name of the title that holds the prestige now, not the
agree.
Not the actual trophy.
So we've kind of rocked through quite a lot of this. So we've got Fastlane that's been announced for October 7th.
That was the second one. Yeah.
What does Fastlane lead to now then? It used to be before WrestleMania.
Well, it used to be the lane that they were on the fast lane to WrestleMania. That was always the start of it.
Why have they kept the name Fastlane? Why wouldn't you just rebrand it as Judgment Day again? Or not Judgment Day, she's got a faction called that.
Well, that'd be cool. I would have liked to see them go with like unique pay-per-view names, like Clash at the Castle, just one-offs for the locations they're in.
Like In Your House kind of vibe.
Yeah, sort of. So you could have In Your House Judgment Day and it's based around them, because obviously I don't think Finn Balor will be world champion at that point, but it could be.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
I don't. I think Damien Priest's got more chance of winning a world championship for Judgment Day. Or maybe Dom Mysterio. He's confirmed against Cody Rhodes for Money in the Bank, which I can't wait for. That's going to be amazing.
It's going to be a good match, that.
Yeah, just for the crowd reactions in London as well. The heat that Dom Mysterio is going to get. Actually, you know what? The London fans might be contrarian and actually cheer Dom Mysterio. I could see that happening. do
Yeah,
something like that.
then obviously we've got for SummerSlam, round 3, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar.
Yes, in a gimmick match.
Is it not a strap match?
Is it a strat? Is that what they're going with? I just had it hadn't been announced yet. It was just going to be some type of old school WCW gimmick.
Pretty sure it's
Um,
some sort of strap match.
yeah, that would make sense. I mean, obviously, I was an advocate of Judy Bagwell on the pole.
Oh yeah, we should bring
But
back on a pole match as well. I don't.
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll find out in the Wednesday show why they should not bring back any pole matches. But yeah, that's good. This isn't on the news at all, but I've just noticed as well that obviously SmackDown the night before Money in the Bank is in London as well, live on BT. So actually going to get to watch SmackDown at 8 o'clock for the first time. It's like a mini
Beautiful.
pay-per-view in itself, isn't it? We've got Pretty Deadly versus the tag team champs, I was going to say Sami Uso, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And presumably the main event is Asuka versus Charlotte for the Undisputed Women's Championship.
Yeah, please don't put the title back on Charlotte.
No, I think Bianca Belair is going to get involved somehow. It's going to either be a no contest, or it's going to be a triple threat.
It just feels like W Creative. I've never know what to do with Charlotte, and it's just like, oh yeah, let's just put her in the title picture.
Yeah, that's it. She can't survive at the title picture. Like, the others, Becky, Bailey, they can have feuds, full on
Yeah.
feuds outside of the.
Well, Becky's pretty much carrying Raw on her own.
Yes. Yeah. With Trish Stratus in the Money in the Bank now, which is a curveball. I'm intrigued to see. I think she'll be a very good Mrs. Money in the Bank, actually. But yeah, so mini pay-per-view. I think it'll be a really good weekend. I wish they'd done Wembley or Tottenham's ground for it so we could go.
Yeah.
But I'm very much looking forward to it. 5 matches on the Money in the Bank card.
Good news is I'm off that weekend of Money in the Bank as well, so
Excellent.
I will be watching that live, no doubt.
Live, yeah, 8 o'clock our time, Money in the Bank, which is ideal. Ideal, really. Right, how much news have we got left? We're going to have a short one. Tommaso Ciampa nearly returned. Apparently his segment was scrapped on Monday by Vince.
Apparently he made some quite big changes on Monday night.
Although apparently they've all gone down well from what I've seen, his changes that he made. So he basically, because the promo before Finn Balor he just got sung over by the crowd when he was doing the whole story is Rollins fucked up his entire career by injuring his shoulder and he's never basically got a world title since. And it's a good promo, but the crowd sang all over it. So Vince said, oh no, he needs to look more dangerous going to it. So Seth Rollins was going to have an open challenge that had been answered by Ciampa. But they decided to just do a beatdown from Finn Balor instead, which made sense.
Yeah.
Well, it was in Johnny Gargano's hometown and everyone was very, very sad that he wasn't on Raw. But I think the thing is, if you got nothing for them, just don't put them on the show. You never have a nothing match. So it wouldn't really matter, would it?
As long as we see him come back and not be bloody Mrs. Lackey again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to do a Ciampa and Gargano reunion, aren't they?
Yeah.
That would be it would be a PWG match. I assume it might have happened or something similar, but them two versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at some point would be quite the indie-rific show for those hardcore fans.
Yeah, just don't take the titles off them anytime soon, because I think Sammy and Kevin are having a good time with it.
Yeah, no, I'd hold them for a while. I'd make it a big historic reign. They need to get their belts sorted now.
Yeah, well, apparently they're merging the women's tag titles, the NXT and the tag.
Yes.
So that's the next one.
Yeah, good. They should have never been separate, I don't think.
Then they have to somehow merge the men's tag, and they're going to create another tag team. They're going to bring back like the World Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, I think they might. I don't know if they'll have two, or if they might just have like one joint one, because that seems to be a thing they've done in the past as well, like Jerry Show back in the day.
Yeah.
And Showbiz. But the women's titles in black, I think would look pretty cool. The women's tag team championships in black, if that's the way to go down it. That's what I do. But yeah.
So the only bit of news left on my list, Dutch Mantel. Mantel has come out and said that nobody wants to see Ryback versus Goldberg, and I 100% agree with him, because no one wants to see Ryback in any form.
I was going to say he's talking nonsense. I want to see that match. be
Do you
insane.
really?
No, it'd be ridiculous. It'd be awful. It would be. I'd watch it like just through my fingers. I'd watch it the same way I tried to watch Ric Flair's last match. I just be watching it through my fingers just to see what happens, really. But no, I don't think I'd enjoy it, but it would make a hell of a wrestling around episode. So that's me.
I think it's safe to say Ryback's not going to get signed by any major
No, I
company.
don't think so. Although there's I think there's an Israeli promotion, isn't there? That's interested in having Goldberg's last match. Could be.
Yeah, I think Goldberg, there's money in him.
Yeah,
Ryback, absolutely not.
yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree with that. But
I want to see Goldberg's last match pay-per-view. That's what I want to see. Bring back
yeah,
Jim Crockett Promotions for that night. I know it was kind of over and done with by that point, but it's just classy.
yeah. No, it'd be good to do something like that. If it's not going to be in WWE or AEW, then I think you could build a pay-per-view around Goldberg on his last match and have it pretty good. And also, if you want to play as Goldberg, you can do sort of on AEW Fight Forever. So I read today that basically because you are the developer of the 2K series up until
Yeah.
I think 2K19. Yeah, because 2K20 was the awful one. They've included all of the entrances as generic entrances. So you could Goldberg
Yes.
is in there, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns. All their entrances are in there. So if you can create them, then you can use their actual entrances. And they've not changed them on 2K since, which is obviously why Roman's got his old one. So you've got the exact same
Beautiful.
on both.
I'm actually looking forward to the AEW game. I still need to pre-order it.
Comes out, is it next week?
29th, because it's the 29th.
Bloody hell. I'm not making any promises, but I might dust off the Wrestling Around Twitch channel.
Well, are you getting it on your Switch or are you going to get it on your Xbox?
I think I'll get this one on my Xbox, possibly, just so I can stream it. I do need to get something on my Switch though, just so I'm using it, because I'm aware that I've not used it since I moved house. My Animal Crossing animals are going to be very sad that I've left them.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason I'm going to get it for the Switch, just so I have been playing on it quite a bit recently. I bought a few games on the Nintendo. Got a serious sale going on.
Yeah. If you can pick up a game for £2 or £3, Snaky Bus was the last one I got.
There's those like major games on there at the moment, like £5-6.
Oh, really?
Okay. Get yourself on there, have a look.
Yeah, I was hoping that the rumors were true about Game Pass and Fight Forever, but I don't believe they are. But yeah, I'll probably get it for Xbox just so I can stream it and dust it off and have a go at this career mode.
Yeah, can't remember the last time I turned an Xbox on.
I don't think there's a lot. I don't think there's any commentary on it. I've heard.
I don't think it needs to. If it's an arcade,
it's going to be a very different game. The exploding barbed wire match looks fun as hell. You can switch between the actual explosion, which was meant to happen, and the one that did happen at that pay-per-view as well, which was kind of fun. But I think it's going to be more of it's not going to be as visually impressive as 2K, but I think it's going to, if you're a wrestling fan, especially if you're a fan of AEW, I think you'll get a lot more enjoyment out of it.
It doesn't need to be like 2K. Yeah. What we need is
it wants to be as far
games.
Away from it as possible. Yeah, because there's enough good talented creators now that you can play as AEW guys in WWE games if you want to, or you'll be able to play as WWE guys on AEW if you want. You probably have the arenas and all sorts now.
Like I think we covered it on the news the other week. There's quite a few different wrestling games coming out or currently in development. So it could be an exciting year or two for wrestling games.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, so we might stream Fight Forever on the Wrestling Around channel. If it's one of those days where it's too warm to even like think about going outside, I will dust off the webcam and the headset and get on Twitch. We'll wrap up the news there then, because it's getting late and we've still got a full episode, so don't expect a full episode on Wednesday. One, because it's late when we're recording this, and two, because we both watched the show 3 weeks ago. Can't remember any of it because we don't take notes anymore. So if you want to hear us try and remember Spring Stampede 98, then it won't be Wednesday's show because today is Wednesday. That'll be Thursday's show, providing we don't say anything we need to edit out. But that's it for the news. Thank you very much for joining us, Aaron.
Thank you.
Where can we find you on Twitter?
Oh, when I can move on to use it. Frankenstein 91. I very rarely use it at the moment. There's too much going on.
Yeah, you could follow at Bell Nation if you want him. Basically, just telling political commentators to fuck off now. Looking at his profile. Or if you're not weird, follow me at Lew and Aaron, but don't be weird. So that's it for the rest of the roundup. Join us on Wednesday for WCW Spring Stampede 98.